11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Or maybe you're in the mood for seafood. Big Sur Oyster Bar has fresh seafood prepared right before your eyes. Savor freshly shucked oysters, crab legs jambalaya, shrimp and lobster. Beers on tap and a selection of fine wines are perfect to pair with your seafood favorite. Whether lunch or dinner, you'll love this fun atmosphere, located just off the casino floor. Ready to shake things up? Step back in time and treat yourself to one of the oldest restaurant chains in the country. Steak and Shake, famous for original mouth-watering steak burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes in a variety of flavors. For some old-fashioned fun, try Steak and Shake.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching? This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, as we always are Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. I'm Alex White, third-generation handicapper. It's just me today, but I will have a special guest joining us like he does every Monday, and he's actually live from Del Mar. A lot to get to. In MLB, it was another really good weekend. We'll update you on the standings. We've been following this all season long. A couple more movements here. The Yankees picking a bad time to not play their best, getting swept by the Marlins. And the Red Sox are getting hot. So that's just the American League. We will definitely dive into the National League. I'm excited to break down the whole card with you. But before we get to that, and I would like this to be a little bit smooth, relaxed. So if you have any questions for our next guest or even myself, please put them in the chat. Vince will relay them to me. But let's bring him in. We got Dwayne Colucci here, runs the sportsbook up at the Rampart, but he is on vacation, so we won't keep him too long at Del Mar. Dwayne, we know there is a lot going on there with the CAW. Can you fill us in on the latest?
Yeah, definitely, Alex. You know, that's been the talk. Everything's about the CAWs and the money piling in late. But, Del Mar now has finally gotten in cohesion with the MYRA, where they're stopping these wagers. I think it's 3 minutes prior. I think that a 5-minute, cap would be perfect. If you could cut it off 5 minutes to post time, start to get this money through the system and the public, could see it, it would be much more favorable for the horse racing consumer or customer. But, they're trying and do a good job. And I have noticed that the odds have not substantially dropped. I was on track. So, it's a touch and go situation. I was always old school, Alex. I loved where first horse goes into the gate, Shut down wagering. I mean, I think that's the foolproof way. I think that's the best way that it should be done. But I don't think they'll be going back to that because of all of the technology. That's what it is. And people are able to bet from basically anywhere in the United States. Las Vegas is the only area where, you can only bet within the state of Nevada. So, you can't bet outside if you have mobile applications that you sign up for in Nevada. But, they need to tighten that up as well, because I know there's a lot of people that are betting on mobile apps in Nevada where that shouldn't be allowed. And, there has to be a governing body to finally rectify all these situations, because it's just going to destroy the game. And that's why, even the horse racing enthusiast who's on Twitter, who's on Facebook, they're crushing, the game, and they're just bashing it because of these CAW influences on the odds, and rightfully so. But I wouldn't get too dramatic over it. I think there's going to be eventually, a universal rule. There should be a universal governing body, and I believe there should also be a universal steward body that could, govern the sport, just like Major League Baseball, just like NFL. You don't have 15 different outside entities making decisions and outside referees coming in. You have a league, and if you could do that with horse racing, get Churchill Downs, get the NYRA, get the Southern California Racing Board on the same page, get some slot subsidiaries, especially here in California, to enhance these purses, and you're going to see a successful game. But it's very hard to market with the CAWs.
Well, glad to hear that they are making the right steps, and you have seen that while you were there. We'll get back to Del Mar. I'm sure some people would like to know your thoughts leading up to some races coming up this week and this weekend. But first, I want to ask you about football being back. Hall of Fame game last week. How was the handle for you guys?
It was increased. I mean, the handle's always increased. I don't care who's playing an NFL game. It's going to increase, Alex. So it was good to see it back. I guess Trey Lance had a great game, but, I don't buy much into the Hall of Fame game. I start to really pay attention on week one. I saw that each team used 2 quarterbacks. Good to see. Like I said, when you're handicapping these games, you have to know the depth chart, know who's out there, know who's fighting for a position, and also, a veteran backup like Trey Lance could excel in certain situations when you're playing against second and third string defenders. So, it becomes so important. You could definitely make money in the preseason. I know a lot of the sharps love to bet it. And if you handicap it well and watch these depth charts and rotations, you could make some money. And the game went over. We had a low total, and it went over in the first half. It was a lopsided game, but it increased handle, and that's what we love as bookmakers in Las Vegas.
And anticipating even more bets coming in for this week, officially week 1 of preseason. Some games on Friday and Saturday. Is that all you're hoping for, Dwayne?
With the preseason, you want interest, Alex.
Yeah.
We're trying to get into the regular season, so we heighten the interest. You start to promote. You definitely start to talk about it. College football's right around the corner, so it's the preseason, but yet still, it's something that people love to focus on, and we're going to see how this regular season plays out. We're seeing a ton of futures. We got a ripe futures market. We're seeing now the win total action come in. We're seeing the divisional total action come in. And it's going to be important as we get into the NFL regular season to watch the injuries in these preseason games. Also, like I said, watch the depth charts, see if any of these backup quarterbacks get hurt, or if these backup quarterbacks start to push buttons to where they could eventually be the starting quarterback, say mid-season. So, you have a lot of teams that the quarterback situation is up in the air, and not everybody has an Allen, a Mahomes, or a Lamar Jackson.
Dwayne, well, we don't have to bet on preseason just yet. I might dabble here and there, but we've been in baseball this entire season, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to have Ryan pull up the National League standings for us. So the Phillies jumped the Mets once again, and we know that division's just been back and forth, and the Braves being down this year. Milwaukee stays hot, so we'll have to see if they are the real deal. But I really want to talk about your Dodgers. Get Blake Snell back. Now we have Glass now. He's got 4 starts under his belt from coming back. How do you feel about the Dodgers now moving forward in this loaded National League?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, Alex. I mean, I think they are loaded. We know they're loaded. They just have to stay ahead of the Padres. Most of the other teams have just, played 50-50 baseball, and you could see that on the graphic. San Francisco has not improved. They had a situation where the Dodgers were on a losing streak, especially heading into the All-Star break and right after it. But these teams really didn't make up substantial ground. San Diego did, but they're always the arch rival, and Machado's hitting the ball very well. We talked about it 5 or 6 weeks ago, Alex. The Cubs had no business being minus 700 to win their division. And now they're, watching Milwaukee open up a lead. Although it's only 2 games, the Cubs could definitely still win that division if something happens. But, I just thought there was no value. That was, the odds were totally out of whack. And, there was some Milwaukee backers that knew that they had a chance to win that division. And now they are the front runner in that division. So the Mets and Phillies, it's flip-flopping, going back and forth. The Mets didn't do too well on that West Coast swing. We'll see if they'll be able to bounce back and get some of their, players healthy as well down the stretch. And once again, Juan Soto is not producing. He's been like peaks and valleys, this year. He's got to be more consistent. You can't just rely on Alonso for the deep balls. You need Soto to contribute, and Vientos has to get hot. They need some of these players to complement the other players that have been playing so well. And, they could win that division. But Philadelphia now also has leapfrogged them, like you said. They're back in front. So it's going to be a dogfight. And I think the Dodgers enjoy this because they're just coasting along. They're just playing at that level, just like, a calm before the storm, and then they're going to let everything loose come playoff time. Like you said, you got Snell back last now. You saw Kershaw was so fired up in that last start that he didn't really perform well. Dodgers play with their hearts on their sleeves, and Mookie Betts will get hot. Freeman's hot again. He produced this whole past series, and we'll see if they could stay consistent. And if Ohtani ever gets ultra hot, forget about it.
I really enjoyed the Tigers and the Phillies series this past weekend. We got to see Zach Wheeler versus Tarek Skubal. I think that is a possibility. It could be a World Series matchup. There's a ton of combinations. I'm sure we'll have exactas here at the South Point and the Rampart soon enough. But is there any teams that would kind of hurt the ratings and hurt the betting, or thinking of like the Tigers, or you think they'd be okay? With the Yankees, I mean, they are not playing good right now, and there is a possibility they will not be in it.
They're so poorly managed, Alex. I mean, I don't know what Boone is doing at times. Sometimes he blames the players, then he blames his coaching staff. They have to play much better. Aaron Judge will be back Tuesday, though. That's the measuring stick. Seattle's ultra hot. They're doing it with the long ball. Yeah. You watch them. They're only 2.5 out now because Houston has fell into a rut. I think in their last 10, they're like 2-8. So keep an eye on that. Houston has come back down to earth, and Texas is only 4.5 out. So that West is wide open, and I'm still not sold on Detroit. I mean, they're a good team, but let's see how good they are in the playoffs. I mean, 5-5 in the last 10 games. They've come back down to earth. The lead is under 10 games, but they have enough breathing room to where they could rest up and stay consistent and still maintain about a 5 to 6 game lead. So, nobody's playing overwhelming. Cleveland, Kansas City, they're playing better now. You could see one is above 500 and one is at 500. But I think the West has, some good teams there. You got to be very, very careful. If Texas gets real hot, they got some solid pitching. And Seattle, like we said, definitely they're playing very well. Houston better start to pick it up. Otherwise, they're going to fall behind Seattle, which we thought was unheard of about a month ago or a month and a half ago.
Well, as long as it's the Dodgers or, say, the Mets or Phillies from the NL, you think Seattle would be an okay matchup and people would still, watch and bet?
I'd much rather see the Yankees. I mean, Toronto's okay. Detroit, they've been the hot team and synonymous team. So a lot of people are anticipating if the Tigers could win playoff series, Detroit has a great fan base. I don't know how much, Seattle, how much attention they would merit. The Dodgers would be huge against them if they played in the World Series in a 7-game series, in my opinion. So especially if the Dodgers go through the Mets, the Phillies, and teams like that in San Diego, they're going to be a huge favorite against Seattle. Seattle, regardless of who Seattle beats, unless it's, where they just start sweeping teams, and sweeping opponents and play lights out baseball. Us as bookmakers, we have to protect ourselves against powerhouse teams like the Dodgers and the Mets and San Diego. So, I think they would be favored against Seattle. All three of those teams, especially the Mets, Dodgers, or the Phillies, even San Diego, they would probably be favored against Seattle. But if Texas got ultra hot, that's a different story because Texas has, playoff experience and World Series experience. So does Houston. Yankees are the best focal point, from a handle standpoint, if they could ever make it. But like we said, Jazz Chisholm, his mind is somewhere else. Goldschmidt, he's cooled off tremendously. Aaron Judge has to come in, rectify that clubhouse, start to really get hot, which he definitely can. He's the best hitter in the game, and he could carry that team into the playoffs. But now you have to even pass Boston, who got very hot in the last 10 games, and they're playing consistent ball, whereas Toronto and the Yankees are not. So be careful when you're betting the futures market with the American League, because you have to anticipate you're going to be an underdog anyway if you play one of the top three teams in the National League in the World Series. Yep. So there's still some value there. I wouldn't lock up all my money unless I was getting some really, really good value on an American League team.
Dwayne, I think Ohtani pretty much has the NL MVP, but it's interesting. And you brought up Aaron Judge coming back Tuesday, and it's been a two-horse race between him and Cal Raleigh. How do you anticipate that going? What do we have to see from Aaron Judge to kind of steal that award back?
Yeah, this Cal Raleigh hype. I mean, he's got 130 strikeouts. He's only batting .250. I mean, he's got another guy on the roster that's got like 35 homers in Suarez, who they're doing it with the long ball. Don't get me wrong. And if they win the division, Raleigh will probably win the MVP. Yeah, I think the home run derby carried him a little too.
Yeah.
I don't even think he should have won that the way the structure was there. I mean, that structure was oddball. You didn't even have the two best players matching up in that final round. But, he definitely brought some notoriety to his name. He's playing fabulous. Don't get me wrong, 42 homers. But I think Judge, if he gets hot, with that high batting average, he almost has equal amount of RBIs, and he has about, 50 less at-bats. So I think Judge could still win the MVP if the Yankees make the playoffs and go back in front in that division. But there's a lot of work to be done there. You're seeing they're starting to blow it up. Getting rid of Stroman, I think, was a good maneuver. I think they definitely are moving in the right direction, but they're not playing in the right direction. So the Yankees have a lot to do for Aaron Judge to win that MVP. Raleigh is now the front runner, in my opinion.
I guess, though, with him being out now, we kind of see how valuable he is to that team. So
right.
If he can keep them right there in that division or in the wild card spot. But Dwayne, that's really it for us today. I'll let you get on with your vacation. What do you have planned for today? No races, right?
No, just a little beach time, definitely. A few cocktails, beach time, relax, work on my tan, us Italians. We love to get tan in the summertime and just enjoy the surroundings. And I'm fired up for Del Mar. It was a fabulous weekend. Sierra Leone, what a performance in the Whitney. That was just tremendous. I mean, Fierceness didn't really run his race. He had the lead at the top of the stretch, Alex, and then he just backed up to the field. But Sierra Leone didn't have a fast pace to run out. Keep that in mind. This Breeders' Cup Classic it's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait for it. You have so many horses, Sovereignty, Journalism, Baeza. Those are the 3-year-olds. Yeah. Then you have the older horses with Mind Frame and Sierra Leone. This is going to be a great, great Breeders' Cup Classic. Let's hope they all stay healthy. We're probably going to see Sierra Leone again at Saratoga before the meet ends, which is very exciting. I didn't see yet the Pacific Classic entries, but that's going to be a great race out here in Del Mar. The crowds have been steady. I'd say the handle at Saratoga, Alex, was tremendous over the weekend. And I'm seeing handle dips at Del Mar, but Del Mar has been putting together a fabulous racing. I mean, you have 10-horse fields, always big fields. Bob Baffert is starting to win some races now. You have Mark Glad, who is tremendous. And you have other guys that are cold, like Doug O'Neill, who I felt would have a good meet. He's been cold, but the top riders are there. Hernandez is just phenomenal. Hector Berrios. You have some great riders out here. Rispoli, we know him for journalism. He's been going back and forth, actually, because, his notoriety and his skills now, he's meriting big, time mounts on the East Coast as well as the West Coast. So horse racing is, sizing up very well. My property has been up the whole year. I can't thank my patrons enough. We had another great month of July, and August started off tremendously. So come and see us at the Rampart. We take care of horse players. You know that. I'm a big horse racing advocate, one of the biggest in Las Vegas. Come on out and join us. You'll enjoy yourself. We still have free parking, drink tickets. Racing forms are comped for levels of play, and it's just a great atmosphere in the Rampart for the horse racing player.
And that reminds me, Dwayne, sometimes you tweet out your picks or your horses, right? So tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, definitely on Twitter, especially on X at MYBookieDwayne. And I'll definitely be giving some picks out this week. I was getting settled in last week. I didn't really have much time sorting everything out. But now acclimating myself to the surroundings, I'll definitely have a few picks. And I'll hit you up, Alex, definitely, if I have something good. I had Sierra Leone. Jeff, that's why I won. Jeff didn't bet on it. I texted Jeff the other day, and I said, you better have had Sierra Leone. He's like, no, I took a pass, and I know that's Jeff's favorite horse. Yep. So we're going to get this horse in the Breeders' Cup Classic again.
Too funny. Well, we appreciate your time, Dwayne, and we will look forward to hearing from you if you have any picks this week. Enjoy your trip. We'll see you again next Monday.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's always a pleasure to join you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, I'm going to go through the whole baseball card. Make sure you check in when we get back. There will also be trivia at the bottom.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White. Please make sure and give us a follow on all of our social medias. We do have clips going out daily. We are previewing NFL. Can't wait to get to some college football. So keep up with us on Instagram, X, and even YouTube Shorts. So please give those a follow. There's my personal as well, which I will be putting out some clips too. Reminds me, on the YouTube channel, Sports by the Book, we have our NFL previews coming out daily throughout the weekdays. So we've done about half of the teams. Go check those out as well and give us your thoughts and opinions. If you're on the same side as us, we're kind of doing overs and unders and whether we think they have a shot at the division. But let us know where you are going forward for the 2025 NFL season. We're going to get into some baseball here now, and I do have Ryan McCormick behind the glass here with me, so we might throw to him on a few of these games too and get his thoughts. But as I mentioned, a really fun weekend. I actually had a really good Friday, which if you have been following the show, you know I needed it. 3-1, got there with the Giants and the Mets under in the first 5, got there with the Cardinals team total. They were held to 1 run, No Astros. They were swept by the Red Sox over the weekend. And the Twins and Guardians under 3.5 for the first 5 in that one. So we'll see if we can do it again today. We'll narrow it down as we go because I do have quite a few that I do like. But we'll kind of talk through those. Starting off in the National League, going with rotation number, Giants and Pirates. Giants decided to start playing good baseball here right after they were sellers at the deadline. Take 2 of 3 against the Mets. The Pirates avoid a sweep from the Rockies. Colorado's actually playing some good baseball right now as well. But we got Justin Verlander, not quite the same Justin Verlander, but has been pitching better than getting credit for. He's $1.25 on the road. And then on the other side, we have Johan Oviedo going. 27-year-old, missed all of last year, recovering from Tommy John surgery. You look at his rehab starts, he has pitched very well in AAA. What can we expect from him today? I think he'll have a pretty good outing here against this Giants offense that kind of just got hot at the right time against the Mets. A little bit of a lean there, 2 plus 110 with the Pirates. We're playing better until they did lose 2-2 Colorado. But that's just a lean, not a very strong play there between the Giants and the Padres. Neither team are really playing for much at this point. Giants, 56 and 56, 9 out from the Dodgers, so not crazy for them. But as I mentioned, already sellers kind of gave up some of their bullpen there. Let's go to the Brewers and the Braves. Milwaukee, one of the hottest teams in baseball. It is hard not to be backing them as of right now. Covered the run line in all 3 games this weekend, sweeping the Nationals. Quinn Priester's going today, who has been very good for them, has not given up more than 2 earned runs in his last 4 starts, and going pretty deep into games, 6, 6, 7, and then 5 2/3 against the rivals in the Cubs. Eric Fedde on the other side gets his second start for the Braves. At this point, I really can't make a case for Fedde. In his first start, he went 4 2/3 against the Royals, gave up 4 earned runs on 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks in that one. So find a way to back the Brewers. I think that's a pretty cheap price there at $1.45, but you want to just avoid that Brewers team total, 4.5, even money if you want to go over that. Or I was thinking first 5, maybe laying that run line here with the Brewers, even though they are the road team. I just think we have a big pitching advantage with Priester, and the Brewers bats are hot. Looking at their last 7, batting .367 as a team, .420 on base percentage, and a .183 WRC plus. I did have how many runs they scored in the last 3 days against the Nationals, but I don't have it up right now. But just playing some really good baseball right now. 38 runs in the last 3 games. 38-14 was that combined score from the last 3 against Washington. So some way, shape, or form, I will be betting the Brewers here today. Only thing that does scare me, I think that is going to be a very popular bet as we are following the Brewers and people are really starting to realize this win streak that they have been on. Let's go to the Reds and the Cubs. Big series here between these two. The Reds are still trying to chase down and get in that wild card spot. Right there, they would be next in 4 out from the Padres, though. So all these teams are playing relatively good here. Nick Lodolo on the mound for the Reds. I am a big backer here. I have been betting his games. And Michael Soroka on the other side for Chicago, just came over from the trade deadline from Washington. Crazy to say it because I do like Lodolo, but I was almost leaning to an over here. I think this is a pretty low number for the full game. 7.5, you're getting even money. Now there is slight wind blowing in at Wrigley, but I just think we could. I do want to get Ryan's opinion on this because Cubs took 2 out of 3 against the Orioles, but a little underwhelming. 9 total runs scored in the last 3 games. Ryan, where are you at right now with this total? You think it could go over?
So acquiring Nick Soroka at the deadline, or Mike Soroka at the deadline, I do think was a good pickup for the Cubbies. He struggled with the Nats and has a 3-8 record because he was unable to get run support from them. He averaged 3.87 runs per game in support in starts with the Nationals. He also the Nationals hadn't won a game that he appeared in since the beginning of June. So he just wasn't getting the bats to back him. And I do think the Cubs offense is one of the best in baseball. They statistically are the best offense in baseball so far this season, but they are struggling recently. So with Lodolo on the mound and Soroka on the mound, and the way the weather is in Wrigley, kind of blowing with the wind blowing in, I do think the juice is right to the under at the 7.5. But with these two teams being division rivals and the Reds needing to compete and to catch up with the Padres, and the way that the bullpen's been struggling for the Cubbies, this could go over towards the end of the game once we get to the bullpens. But if we go to the first 5, I would be much more comfortable with that 4 getting a chance to push as well.
Yeah. It is tough because you just laid out a lot of reasons why we should stay away from the bets. And you're right. We don't really know for sure how either of these guys could pitch. They could go out and throw a gem. I do think both of them have the stuff. So that is a good point. I was thinking, though, the Reds did just see him when he was with the Nationals, actually, but really only got 1 earned run in 5 2/3. So Lodolo also has 2 starts this year against the Cubs. Both were, I believe, back in May or June, but they were back-to-back starts. One was in Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. One was in Wrigley Field. In Cincinnati, that was an 11-8 game that the Cubs ended up winning. In Wrigley, a 2-0 game that the Cubs also ended up winning. So I do tend to think it's going to go under in this one. Okay. Very good. You're right. I mean, that's just a wide range of what you're saying, what we could see from these two. And you know that this is going to be a very good series moving forward. I'm excited to talk about it throughout the week. So we're going to stay off of that one. I mean, kind of moving forward, I wonder if there's a point where we could get a plus price with the Cubs, kind of like we talked about with another series where we know how intense this is going to be. Maybe that plus 125 has a little bit of value for the Reds as well. But not enough, I don't think. I think that the Cubs should be at least minus 130 here. So moving on to the next game here. JP Sears is going to make his start for the San Diego Padres. Came over in a trade from the Athletics. Brandon Pfaadt is pitching for the Diamondbacks. Now, I do think we have a pretty dead even pitching matchup here. The lefty Sears has been pretty good for the Athletics and is expected to be a spot in this rotation for the Padres, who are making a push here. Brandon Pfaadt on the other side, he was starting to pitch better. I might have even jinxed him in the last start against the Tigers. Gave up 7 4 2/3. It was the Tigers, though. Another really good offense. I don't want to take too much from that. With all that being said, I think this is a great price for the Padres. Two teams that are going in opposite directions. The Padres have one of, if not the best bullpens. So to come in after JP Sears and shut down this Diamondback team that has kind of already given up on the year. Now, they did win some over the weekend, so can't completely say that. But even pitching matchup, better lineup now that the Diamondbacks have made all their trades. So Padres and the better bullpen, minus 125. I am going to have that on my card here today. Let's go to the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Sonny Gray, Tyler Glasnow, really good pitching matchup here. Tyler Glasnow, as I mentioned, 4 starts since coming back from his injury. Did really good in the first 3. Saw a little bit of a hiccup in the last one against the Reds. Just went 4 innings. Gave up 4 earned runs on 4 hits. 5 walks in that one. That does make me a little bit nervous. On the other side, Sonny Gray, we're seeing 2 really bad starts in here. Against the Diamondbacks, gave up 8. And then against San Diego, who has been playing much better. That was July 24th. 6 earned runs in 5 innings for him. The one thing I do like about Sonny Gray, though, is he does not walk guys. So in his last 4 starts, he has a combined 20 strikeouts with just 1 walk. Kind of like the opposite of what I just said about Glasnow. If Glasnow can walk some of these guys from St. Louis, do they have a shot? Is that plus 160 enough to jump in here? I don't think I'm quite there yet, but it would be a lean to the under here at 8. Now, this is kind of the opposite because, as I mentioned, I was leaning to the over with the Cubs, but wind was blowing in. This one, Cards and Dodgers, there is a little bit of wind blowing out. It's just 10 miles per hour. You don't really have to be too concerned until we get to 15 or 20. Looking at these two offensively, in the last 7 games, the Cardinals batting .207 as a team, .288 on-base percentage, and a 71 WRC+. That is not good. We want to be over 100 with that number. The Dodgers, .245 as a team, .313 on-base percentage, and 84 WRC+. So If both of these guys can get through 5 innings for us with just 1 or 2 earned runs, I think we can stay under that 8. That's a big lean for me there. Might make the board even. Let's go to the Twins and the Tigers. Tigers have been struggling as of late, but starting to pick it up. They got the one with Skubal on the mound against the Phillies. So it was enough not to get swept there. On the other side with the Twins, we talked about Minnesota fire sale, really kind of a new team here we have. And here's another example. 25-year-old Travis Adams will get the start here. Well, it says undecided. That's who I have as getting the start here. Made his MLB debut earlier this season. Has been pitching out of the bullpen for the Twins. 8.03 ERA if it is him starting. 1.62 WHIP. A 9-3 strikeout to walk ratio across 12 and a third. Casey Mize on the other side, he has seen the Twins twice, or they have seen him twice, whichever way you want to look at it. But he struggled a little bit as of late, kind of like Sonny Gray. 2 really bad starts in there, and it was against the Mariners and the Pirates. And honestly, it was the week that the Pirates were playing really good baseball. So I don't want to take too much from that. I do like Casey Mize. I think he could have a good start here against this Twins lineup that is a lot different looking. So I like the Tigers. I don't love that huge price at -$2. I do think it is right, but got to find a better way to play this. I don't love the run line with the home team, even though it is even money. So we'll have to take a look at maybe the team total here for the Tigers. But Casey Mize on the bump. Tigers, they got to start putting some more wins together. Let's go to the American League here. 2 of the hottest teams right now in baseball with the Kansas City Royals and the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox just swept the Astros, and the Royals took 2 out of 3 over the hot Toronto Blue Jays. So Bailey Falter comes over from Pittsburgh. He is the starting pitcher here today for the Royals. And on the other side, Brian Bayo, ever since he had that complete game 5 starts ago, I've been talking about how good he has been, and he really hasn't disappointed. He went 6 twice against Tampa Bay and Chicago, 1 and 3 earned runs in each of those. And then against the Dodgers, 3 earned runs in 5 and a third. And then against the Twins, 1 earned run, 7 innings pitched for him there. While I really like Brian Bayo, I do think this price is just a little too high. I think we're going to start to find some value here for the Royals, who were not sellers. They are still competing to try and maybe catch the Tigers in the division or get a wild card spot there. So I like this move. I like Bailey Falter on the other side. I think he'll pitch really well here for his new team. So I'm going to take that plus price here with the dog. Plus 140 on the Royals. That might be my underdog of the day. I forgot to mention that the trivia is probably in the ticker, but the trivia has probably been there for a while now. So I'm going to keep on going. I was going to take a small break, but we're going to keep going through this card, going to the Yankees and the Rangers. Patrick Corbin, the lefty going for the Rangers, has had a great year here since really struggling in Washington. On the other side, Max Fried was a front runner for the Cy Young, dipped off. Now he had a blister injury with his hand and now trying to come back from that. Is Max Fried -140 worthy here on the road against the Rangers? That's what we have to try to figure out here, especially with the Yankees not playing their best ball. Lost 3 in a row to the Marlins. ESPN said that was actually the first franchise sweep for the Marlins over the Yankees. And now they have to go to Texas to play this Rangers team that is desperately trying to catch up. They might even be able to pass the Yankees now that Boston's taken a leap over them. I thought it was Boston that was going to drop back down. But so very important game for both of them here. Max Fried, though, is the ace. I do think he'll pitch well here and could slow down this Rangers offense. If anything, I would just look to the under, maybe in first 5 under. We know how good unders have been in Texas. I bet you that JR might even have a trend for us. So going back to some of he does have some trends. Brewers, 6 overs in a row. That is very interesting. And Dodgers, 4 unders in a row. So good stuff from him. Thank you, JR. And so Rangers, with both these guys going here, 2 lefties. I do think that number is right for Max Fried, but I do like the under I will go with that one right there. Under 4, -120 in the first 5. I think both pitchers can do well here today. Let's go to Adrian Hauser. Came over from the White Sox, now pitching for Tampa Bay. Kikuchi on the other side for the Angels. This is a tough one for me. I think the numbers are just right. I really don't want to go against this Rays team that is, trying to make a push here. And the Angels are a very confusing team. They're a very hard team to handicap because they have a very good offense, but then we see them fall flat more often than not. And Kikuchi, 34-year-old, has done well. I think I've kind of been harsher on him than need be. I do think he is their true ace, and he can pitch well here today. On the other side, Adrian Hauser, 11 starts for the White Sox, 2.10 ERA and a 1.22 WHIP across 68 2/3. One of the pitchers that everybody was going for. I do think that he could pitch well here today as well. So I guess it could be a lean to the under at 8.5. I think that's actually pretty solid. I've got it 7.5. It's a full run difference. That's what we like to have, is a full run difference. Just want to make sure. So 80 degrees, 7 miles per hour blowing out. Shouldn't be too much there, but the Angels do always make me nervous. Couple more on the board here today. We'll get into the interleague. I am going to take a quick 30-second or 1-minute break here just to check in with the crew and see if we have a trivia winner, and then we'll hit the interleague, the last 4 games we have here today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Sports by the Book. Contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust: footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service. Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live at the South Point Hotel and Casino every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Coast time, of course, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm Alex White. Thanks for joining me today. Please chime in if you have any comments for me, and Vince will relay them over. We have 4 more games, and then I will take another quick break so we can get the whiteboard ready. Couple plays that I already really like that I have already gone through. If you missed them, if you're just joining us, welcome. But you can always go back and watch those later after we get done here. So I was asking Ryan about the Cubbies. In these 4, I'm going to see if he has any other ones, or if he does have a best bet for us today as well, he could chime in. Let's go to the Houston Astros and Miami Marlins. Marlins feeling good after a nice sweep over the Yankees. The Astros, not so good. They were swept by the Red Sox in Boston. Jason Alexander going for Houston. He has 3 starts this year. He has played in 8 games, kind of coming out of the bullpen. Don't really know what to expect from him. Sandy Alcantara on the other side for the Marlins, really starting to pitch better. Now, they was against the Padres when they were struggling, and then the Cardinals. But, I mean, I believe that he could do it again here against this Astros team that has definitely been struggling to hit the ball. Let me see if I have any crazy numbers. Neither of these teams really, I mean, they're pretty much average right now offensively from their last 7 games. Curious, Ryan, do you trust Sandy here? Do you think he's back? And now the Marlins on a 5-game winning streak?
I have liked the Marlins for a little bit the last couple weeks. I do not like the Astros. When they got swept by the A's, I jumped in that weekend, same as your dad, jumping on the A's, fading the Astros, thinking it was time to fade the Astros. But one thing I did want to point out is that their starter today, Jason Alexander, is someone that we did get to see several times at Las Vegas Ballpark this year as he started the season with the Aviators in the A's organization. They DFA'd him. The Astros picked him up. And then he did do pretty well before getting called up and going to them. So I do think he is a very capable starter. But the Marlins have been able to put the bat on the ball very well as of recently. So granted, the Astros clubhouse is still putting things back together, getting Correa back, adding pieces at the deadline. So it may take a little longer for those bats to all mesh. But they do have a ton of potential. They do have a good pitching staff. But for this one, you asked if I trust Sandy.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want the Cubs to trade for him. And I think the Marlins weren't smart in not trading him, but they also weren't getting the value that they saw back. So with this one, it's a stay away just because of the ways that it can go. I can see a good start coming from Alexander. I can see a good start coming from Sandy, but just hasn't been going that way of recently.
It's tough. It's pretty wild to even see the Marlins minus 130 because that's kind of recency bias also with this 5-game winning streak. If it were last week, the Astros would probably be a small favorite here. But you're right, we don't know enough about Jason Alexander and what he can do. I guess it's a small lean to the under, maybe first 5. I think through the first time seeing the lineup, both pitchers can do well. So getting a 4.5, but it is Miami. So that's another thing that you do have to be careful for. Let's see if I have any weather updates on that one. But good breakdown.
They're in a dome.
You're right. I forgot that. And when I was reading up on Alexander yesterday, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember him being at the ballpark. So some of his numbers could be bad from that PCL too. But let's go to the next one. I'm excited about this one. Phillies at home. This is going to be a tough one to try and handicap here with Jesus Luzardo, who's kind of been inconsistent, to say the least. On the other side, Cade Povich going for the Orioles, and we haven't seen him since June 15th. So what do we expect from him? I will just say he's been very good in his rehab starts. He did have one bad one, which was his last one. 4 2/3 is all he made it through. 4 earned runs on 5 hits in that one. But I think he could pitch relatively well here. And then Luzardo, I don't even think I want to try and guess. He's coming off of one of his better starts against the White Sox. Scoreless, 7 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. But the one right before that against the Red Sox, he went 5 innings, gave up 6 earned runs, and 5 walks in that one. So that does make me a little bit nervous. I don't know if the Phillies should be this big of a favorite. And I said I liked Cade Povich, and he could pitch well here, but it is his first start back. It is in Philadelphia. If anything, I'm going to lean to the over here. I actually believe there were some 8.5s out there last night, so now it is at 9. Shop around if you could get an 8.5. I think that's probably the best way to play this one between these two. Let's go. We got 2 more on the board here with the Guardians and the Mets. Sean Manaea has been very good for the Mets. I mean, very consistent. Pretty much his last few starts, 5 innings and just 1 earned run. So I think he could do that again here in this one. On the other side, Cleveland is pretty shocking, right? Now they are second in the AL Central, 56 and 55, actually making a push and playing well. I mean, we're starting to see their bats come alive. I think Slade I forgot how to say this for some reason.
Slade Cecconi.
Cecconi. Thank you, Ryan. Slade Cecconi has been pretty good for them. So I don't know. I can't lay that price yet here with Manaea. I need to see a little more consistency. But then again, they do have one of the best bullpens as well. Both these teams have great bullpens. That might be the number is 8. I think that's correct. So I can't really make a case for the under there either. We're going to pass on that one. Last but not least, the Blue Jays going to Colorado to take on the Rockies. They need to take advantage of this matchup here and try and get as many wins as they can. Tanner Gordon going for the Rockies and Eric Lauer on the other side, the lefty for the Blue Jays. I do like the way he has pitched. He's a sub-1 whip. It's a very big number here for Toronto as well. I'm going to stay away from this one because Colorado has already been there, right? And Toronto is just traveling there. First game into Colorado, I'm going to stay off of that one for sure. But that is the slate today for MLB. 13 games for you here on a Monday. I'm going to take a quick break again, and I'm going to get the whiteboard ready and give you 3 or 4 of my best bets for the day.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza. Plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book. Over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching? This total is really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Just about time to give out our picks of the day. Ryan is going to join me. He does have a pick that he really likes as well. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'm going to check in with Vince and the chat here. I'm Alex White. This is Sports by the Book. Make sure and join us back. We'll be back again tomorrow, 10 a.m. But before we get to our picks and the whiteboard, Ryan's going to kind of update us on what we have going on here, our previews, and what we're looking forward to.
Well, we've actually got both New York teams out, Dallas, several teams are out on the page. If you go to Sports by the Book, just the YouTube channel that you're on right now. This week we've got 2 of the NFC North teams coming out, 2 of the AFC East teams coming out. We also have the Raiders preview out for all the locals looking for expectations on Pete Carroll and Geno Smith's Raiders. So those will be, that one's out, and we've got more coming out this week. We are releasing those every day up until the 23rd of this month is when the Eagles is going to come out. So we're excited for all of those. And you got to stay tuned.
So Ryan is a Chicago fan, as most of you know. Ryan, are you looking forward to seeing some preseason games here?
I am
for your
very,
team?
very excited to see what Ben Johnson can put together on the field. He, from what I've been reading, he has completely revamped the culture, almost a shell shock of a culture change to all the guys that have been there for the last couple of years. So I'm very excited. I think one of my favorite sentences that I've read in an article was that he's building something ruthless, disciplined, and unshakable. So I'm really excited for what Ben Johnson can do.
Yeah. Well, we know they've had the pieces and they've had the talent, so it will be very interesting to see what happens. Tough division. Reminds me of the Raiders, so check out that preview. And I'm sure the Bears is coming out soon. We did record that one. So
that is one of the 2 NFC North teams coming out this week.
Yes. So look out for those, everybody. We're having a lot of fun doing them. We're evolving. We're going to add more things as we get to these teams that have higher expectations. Of course, because we do want to give out some of our leans and likes and plays if people want to make futures along with us. But speaking of plays, let's get to the plays of the day with our whiteboards. It is just me, and then Ryan's going to give his play or two that he really likes. So here's 4. I am not going to play this both ways, but I am going to decide between the Brewers team total over 4.5. I think I'm leaning to that one a little bit more. But Brewers first 5 run line, so laying half that run, is even money as well. Both of these are even money going over that team total or the run line. I don't love the run line first 5 with the road team because then, of course, the home team gets their 3 at-bats. So I do love the Padres today, -125. I like the way that they are playing. I do think that they have JP Sears and Fott are pretty even, but the Padres definitely have the bullpen and the offense advantage in that one. Cardinals, Dodgers, I'm going to go under the 8. I really do think both pitchers can pitch well here, and I'm not overly impressed with either offense. And then Yankees and Rangers, I'm going to go under 4 in the first 5. A lot of 3.5s out there, so if you're going to tail that one, shop around. I would definitely get the best number on a total like that with 4, like Ryan said in one of our other games where you could push. But let's send it over to Ryan McCormick and get his plays for this Monday.
Well, so I will be going along with you at that Brewers, not necessarily the team total or the first 5 run line, but I'm okay with going the full game run line, going against Eric Fetty. The Brewers this weekend, we'll go to our good friends at OptaStats, did 2 things historic that haven't been done since 1950 or since 1939. The first being that the Brewers racked up 56 hits in the series against the Nationals in 3 games. It's the most hits by a National League team in a 3-game series since the Brooklyn Dodgers, not the current Los Angeles Dodgers, but the Brooklyn Dodgers collected 57 hits against the Pirates in 1950. And then the Brewers offense scored 16 runs, I believe, Saturday night or Friday night. It was the 4th time this season that they've scored 16-plus runs in a game.
Wow.
April 9th, they scored 17 at Colorado. May 31st, they scored 17 at Philly. June 20th, they scored 17 at Minnesota. And again, 16 at the Nationals. It's the first time 16-plus runs in a game in a road ballpark in a single season since the Yankees did so in 1939. Wow. That Yankees team did it 5 times. So again, this Brewers offense right now is doing historic things. They've covered the run line in all 3 games against the Nationals. I have no problem taking them on the run line again today at a +115 price against the Braves, who we have made kind of a thing of fade Fetty, but I know we like the UNLV guy. So
that 3rd game, they scored 14.
Yeah.
So they
again,
almost
right
tied. Yeah, they almost got there. Wow. And that's crazy about all the hits, which makes sense because not a lot of home runs, but a lot of collected base hits.
They know how to put together rallies, and I know the old adage in baseball is that home runs are rally killers, and the Brewers are just putting bat on the ball, just getting guys on base, and just keeping it going. So Brewers run line today.
Very good. I love it. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you to the whole crew, Ann and Jerry and Drew Dog and Vince and Sean and everybody. Trivia. My favorite part, I get to read through this nice long trivia question here. So let's find out what we've got. On August 4th, 1982, versatile MLB player Youngblood achieved an improbable feat by getting a hit for 2 different teams in 2 different cities on the same day. Okay. Which 2 Hall of Fame pitchers did Youngblood earn the 2 hits off of? That's a tough one. So first starting out with which team. So playing for the Mets in a day game, he got a hit in the 3rd inning going up against Chicago Cubs Hall of Fame pitcher Ferguson Jenkins. And then at the end of the inning, he was informed he was traded to the Expos mid-game. Against the Philadelphia Phillies. Then in the 7th inning, got a hit against Steve Carlton. So very, very good, Vince. That was a great trivia question. And good job to Nick, who leads off the new week with a win today. Very good getting that one. That was very tough. So love it. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me for a full hour by myself. I will be back again tomorrow with Jeff Parles. Again, look out for our NFL previews. We'll also have some college guests coming very soon. We will do those live, probably starting next week. Chris Andrews or Vinny will be back with us on Friday. And that's it. Follow us on social media, please. Sports by the Book and Sports by the Book LV on Instagram. I'm Alex White for the crew. We'll see you again tomorrow, 10 a.m. here at the South Point Studio.